Hello, everyone, and welcome. In any surgery, our eyes are usually drawn to the flashy stuff, right? The scalpel, the laser, the tools that actually cut and reshape. But today, we're going to talk about the unsung heroes. We're talking about the instruments that don't cut at all. But without them, modern surgery would literally be impossible.
So I want to kick things off with a question for you. In the high-stakes world of laparoscopic surgery, what do you think is actually more dangerous than the sharp edge of a scalpel? Think about it for a second. The answer, well, it might surprise you. It's this, an obscured view. Because in surgery, visibility isn't just important, it's everything. A surgeon can have the steadiest hands on the planet, but if their camera lens is clouded with blood or smoke or any kind of debris, they are, for all intents and purposes, flying blind. And that's not just an inconvenience, it's a massive patient safety issue. It's the core problem we're going to tackle today. So, how do surgeons win this constant battle for a clear line of sight? Well, they rely on a very specific set of instruments that act as the cleaning system for the entire operation. And here they are, the suction and irrigation instruments. Honestly, the best way to think about them is like a highly specialized, super tiny pressure washer and vacuum cleaner rolled into one. One function sucks away all the junk, the other washes the area clean. Their whole job is to work together to keep that surgical field totally pristine, visible, and, most importantly, safe. So what do they actually do? Well, their job really breaks down into three core functions. First, they suction away anything that's getting in the way. We're talking blood, smoke from cauterizing, loose tissue, you name it. Second, they can deliver a gentle stream of saline. Now, this doesn't just wash away stubborn clots, it can literally clean the lens of the laparoscope right in the middle of a procedure. And it's the combination of those two actions that maintains that clear, safe environment that is absolutely vital for doing any kind of precision work. Okay, so now that we get why they're so critical, let's open up the surgeon's toolkit and see what's inside. Because this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. There are a few different types of these instruments, and each one is designed for a specific job. All right, first up is the real workhorse of this toolkit, the simple suction irrigation cannula. This is probably the most basic and widely used device you're going to find. And its genius is really in its simple, incredibly reliable design. Its design is it's elegantly simple. At its heart, it's just a hollow tube. But look closer and you'll notice those little side holes. That's a really clever feature to stop the tip from getting sucked onto delicate tissue and causing damage. It also keeps it from getting clogged. And the handle? That's the command center. It lets the surgeon switch instantly between suctioning fluid out and irrigating the area in. But what if a surgeon needs to wash and clear an area at almost the same time without even a split-second delay? For that, we've got the upgrade. The dual-channel device. This thing is really designed for surgeons who need maximum control and speed. The big innovation here is having two separate dedicated channels. What does that mean? No more switching back and forth. Suction and irrigation are always on, always ready to go. You've got these precise thumb controls to manage the flow, and the whole process just becomes so much smoother. And that's not just about convenience. It means less time spent cleaning, which can actually help reduce the overall procedure time for the patient. Putting them side by side like this makes the choice a surgeon has to make really clear. On the left, you've got the single-channel cannula. It's the reliable, go-to standard for general use. But on the right, the dual-channel device gives you way better control and that simultaneous operation, which makes it the perfect choice for high-precision or really time-sensitive tasks. It's all about matching the right tool to the specific demands of the surgery. But the toolkit doesn't stop there. A lot of innovation in surgery is about adapting what we already know works. And that's exactly why the third category of these instruments is directly modeled after tools that have been proven to work for decades in traditional open surgery. They've just been miniaturized for the laparoscopic world. A perfect example of this is the laparoscopic version of a yank-hour tip. These are designed for incredibly delicate, super targeted suction. Imagine you need to clear a tiny bit of bleeding right next to a major blood vessel. That's when you need this kind of precision. Other versions have narrow or angled tips, all designed to help surgeons get around corners and into those really tricky, hard-to-reach spots. Now, even the simplest-looking tools in an OR come with a huge amount of responsibility. Using them the right way, safely and effectively, takes a ton of discipline and awareness. So, let's run through the key safety protocols that every single surgical team lives by. There are 3 absolute non-negotiable rules here. Rule 1. Avoid prolonged suction near delicate tissue, like the bowel, because it can get drawn in and injured very easily. Rule 2. You have to carefully balance the irrigation fluid. Too much fluid can lead to serious complications like hypothermia for the patient. And Rule 3, and this is a big one, always confirm patency. That just means making sure the instrument's channels are clear before the surgery even starts. A blockage during a critical moment is a disaster nobody can afford.
So let's just step back and summarize what we've gone over. What are the really essential things to take away from this deep dive into the surgical cleaning system?
You know, when you think about everything we've talked about, it all really boils down to the number 3. It stands for the 3 critical jobs these tools do: suctioning debris, irrigating the field, and ultimately maintaining that clear view for the surgeon. And it also stands for the 3 main categories in the toolkit they choose from: the simple cannula, the advanced dual-channel device, and those highly specialized tips. So, 3 functions, 3 tool types, all for one single goal: a safer, more precise surgery.
And that kind of brings us to our final thought. If suction and irrigation instruments are the essential cleaning crew of laparoscopic surgery, it really raises an interesting question, doesn't it? What then are the power tools? We'll dig into that in our next explainer. Thanks so much for joining me.